Is the Friends of the Christchurch Botanic Gardens, Jane Cohen Harris and Jeanette Christensen.
Put this up because it's so low. Sorry, I have an impossibly low chair. Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to introduce myself. I'm the president of the Friends of the Christchurch Botanic Gardens, and Jeanette Christensen is the immediate past president and also volunteer organising coordinator at Mona Vale. Friends have about 200 members, and this submission represents them as well as interested locals to Mona Vale. And we have only been involved more in the volunteer side at Mona Vale for the last year. Okay. So following from the submission, the main points are that the repair and restoration of the Mona Vale bathhouse was spade ready in 2017 at a cost of $550,000. Since then, the repairs have been disappointingly moved out of the long-term plan to 2029. We're concerned at not only the ongoing degradation of the building, but also the significant increased cost of repair, estimated at $626,000 for 2029, though likely to exceed that, as we all know. Costs go up a lot. The roof alone would cost a significant amount to repair should it collapse. The Mona Vale bathhouse is small in comparison to other heritage buildings, but it's an integral and essential part of the Mona Vale experience. Mona Vale is the second largest public garden in Christchurch and attracts many visitors, both local and out of town. Restoration of the bathhouse presents a great opportunity to house semi-tropical plants, which would create another important botanical collection for the city and can be managed by the experienced Mona Vale gardening team. And the bathhouse is an ideal building to promote and present the collection to the public. Our survey of visitors and friends of the gardens indicates high public support for the restoration of this building. Staff and guides are frequently asked about when it's going to be repaired, and we do regular walks around Mona Vale. The repairs also support the council's promotion under the current Parks and Heritage Management Activity Plan to, quote, recognise and protect heritage places and items and facilitate the use of this heritage building. If the council approves moving the restoration of the bathhouse back to the current annual plan, the Friends of the Christchurch Botanic Gardens are happy to support this restoration by holding a major fundraising event at Mona Vale in 2023. Now, Jeanette's going to give a little bit more from the historical background as well of the bathhouse.
Yes, can you hear me? I guess many of you will remember that the bathhouse came to fruition under Annie Townend's ownership of Mona Vale in 1905, 1906 on. However, before the earthquake, it had fallen into disrepair. It's a wooden structure with rods to hold the windows, and it's quite a specialist building to fix or maintain. But for 10 years before the earthquakes, it had fallen into disrepair. But before the earthquakes happened, about 2 years before that, they actually got it back up to standard, or it was on the council's operations budget to put it back to standard. It was housing then for 18 months before the earthquake. It was open to the public. There were chairs and tables in there, and it was housing a collection of rare semi-tropical plants. And I'd just like to add that recently we have had a gentleman who propagates plants for the Christchurch Canterbury Horticultural Society, and he was actually given two Chilean bellflower plants that were given to him by Tracy Goff's gardener way back in 1939 or just after that. And he has been propagating those two plants for some time. He has just given them back to the staff at Monavale, some plants that we could also house in there. So that would add another aspect of the history to the bathhouse. And I guess we just urge the City Council to take the opportunity of have the Friends work with them to help restore this very valuable but small historic building, the last one to be restored in Mona Vale. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? No? I think people are very, very comfortable with, well, we actually would like to thank you for all of the work that you do. The number of community organisations that have been appearing in front of us to describe, you know, what have been incredibly ambitious programs but could never have been done by the council on their own. So it's really great to have you here making the submission, and I know that this place means a lot to everyone who's sitting around the table, and thank you very much for all that you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Right, then.